gets many, many ideas. And it doesn't stop for Mike. Mike, you are allowed to go to ICB Advanced Test Analyst. 5 full days of learning, so 10 days. Wow! So he goes to the class and he learns many, many things. And he comes back to his job and said, what did you learn? Oh, I learned many things. So what, are there any improvement ideas from us? Yes, I got many ideas. So maybe from 10 days you pick up 30, perhaps even more ideas. But of course, what you cannot do is say, oh, 30 ideas, let's start all of these tomorrow. That's not possible. So what a model like TMMI does, it says, okay, hang on. Let's first do the things which are level 2. Let's then do the things which are level 3, then 4, then 5. It actually gives, you might say, an order or a priority to all your improvement ideas. It helps. Because if you write all these books, if you do all the courses, if you do the Agile standard, if you do IEEE, if you do all these things together, it's like, okay, where do I start? Well, TMMI helps you to say, where can I start? That's what TMMI is. That in general is what improvement models do. These things, all right, a course is providing you with content. You saw this slide a little bit different also this morning if you were there. I expressed already this morning 74% is level 1. So what I mean by that is, if someone says, I am a level 2 company, he or she is actually the best in the top 25% in the world. So level 2 is an achievement by itself. Okay. What you can see here already, well not actually not see, but there are 5 levels. Level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And level 1 means I exist. Okay? Level 1 is for free. So you don't go back to your company, not tomorrow, but day after tomorrow, and say, we are TMMI level 1. Okay? Meaning I exist. Do you know why there are 5 levels, by the way? Any idea? Because management can only count to 5. Actually, this is a joke that Watts Humphrey once told me, and what he meant by that is that the model should be so easy to explain to management, because typically you only have 10 minutes for management. So it should be a very straightforward model to explain. And this is very straightforward. It's 5 levels, and the rest don't care about. So as I said already, it helps you to set priorities and to focus. If you want to go in level 1, you want to go to level 2, there are only 5 things, and I'll explain these 5 things in a minute, that you worry about. You don't worry about what can I explain? No, there are 5 things to focus on. It helps. Instead of saying, oh, here's Mike with his 30 ideas, so where do I start, Mike? I have no idea, but there's great ideas. That's difficult. That's very difficult for everyone. And saying, okay, let's start on these things, helps. It focuses your improvement level. And once you go to these 5, you move on and say, okay, let's take the next 5. On average, and average means in this case really an average, because it depends where you are already today, of course. On average, if you start such an improvement process, to get to level 2 takes around 9 months. So within a year, companies are able to get from 1 to 9. 2, sorry. Yeah? Getting from 2 to 3 is even quicker typically. It takes around 6 months. Why is that quicker? Because when you go from 1 to 2, you've got to change the culture of the organization. Because typically there is quite often not an improvement culture, a change management culture. If you've made this change, going from 1 to 2, yeah, then it's easier thereafter to go from 3 to 2. So on average, as I said already, 1 to 2, 6 months, and to 3 about 6 months. Okay. Let's look at level 2 a little bit in detail. what is level 2 about? Level 2 is very much a project-oriented level. What I mean by that, this is not about any luxury, not about doing things, oh, let's do something, let's make processes, let's do training, let's have organization, let's set career paths. That's luxury. You first have to survive in your project, right? That's step 1. People are saying, you're not doing testing. Oh, okay, go test. That's step 1, anything you do. So if you look at level 2, I call level 2 very much a project-oriented level. What is there? It is test planning. Are you capable of doing good upfront thinking? Test planning is upfront thinking. It's about being capable of doing a risk analysis, being capable of defining a test approach, being capable of doing good estimates. Sorry? Scheduling, yeah, estimation and scheduling. So these things. So at the beginning I am capable of doing it. By the way, planning doesn't necessarily mean providing an IEEE 829 30-page test report. It could be 1 page, you'll see later on. Well, if you do test planning, hopefully you're also able to do monitoring control. So you make a plan, as test manager, let's say as test manager or as tester, and based on that, we just started. Based on that, you're also able to monitor that throughout the life cycle. So you monitor that from things like how many resources are spent, but also monitor that from a quality perspective. If we find too many defects, what do we do? If we get too much coverage, what do we do? Things like that. And we're reporting. And if we have deviations from plan, we take measures to make sure we get back to plan or we change the plan. So this is like project management for testing. What also is here is test design execution. That means we are capable, level 2 organization, of designing good test cases using test design techniques. That could be specification based, with partitioning, decision tables. It could be experience based, exploratory testing, depending on what you do, what's best for you. But you are capable of writing good test cases, you execute them, you find defects. Testers, you find defects, right? Or not? You find defects here in Malaysia? Yeah? I don't know. I mean, I haven't tested in Malaysia, but typically a tester finds defects, yeah? Yeah. Now, as a tester, when you find defects, you're happy. You know this? Yeah. You hear a feeling? No, don't know it? Well, I do. If you, come on, you're testers. If you have been testing, and suppose you're doing waterfall, and you're making test designs and test cases, and here's the system, okay? And you find a real big defect, yeah! You know, that should be your attitude. Of course, you don't go to development and say, yeah! Because that's different, eh? But internal in the test team, I got one, real good one. So a tester is happy to find defects, okay? So we do test design execution, which has like, we do execute test cases, we do defect reporting, we log, we make standard things. And we do this in an environment that is as much as possible real life, that is managed, that's available when we want this. So basically, is there anything special level 2? This is really standard testing. To my surprise, if you start doing assessment in a company that says, oh, this is very easy, there are almost always holes, and many companies are not even level 2. So very much project-oriented process area. With one exception, one on top. Test policy and strategy. Let me explain. Test policy is, to me, a one-page document Could be more, but to me it's always one page document stating why do we do this. What you're basically saying is we're going to do TMMI. So what you're basically saying is I want money from management to invest in something, right? To improve my testing processes, right? Well, then the first step is there a problem? And what is the problem? And so you start writing in a policy stating this is a business problem, what are our test objectives? What are we trying to improve? And so are our testers, will they be ICB certified, yes or no? That's a policy statement. And it's not because we have money today, oh let's do certification. So a test policy to me is a document that actually guides, you might say, guides the whole test improvement project or program. It starts with that. So basically level 2 is 1 at organizational level, and the rest is just doing the things that are needed in your projects. Level 3. Level 3 is it changes, because now you are better, you are able to do good testing in your projects. Let's take this one step further. Let's do a few things which are necessary on an organizational level. And also, let's enhance all the testing we already did at level 2. So what we here have is a test organization. So we now we start thinking about, are there test functions defined in the organization? Are there test career paths defined? Is there an education plan for testers? So it becomes more of an organization if you want. A test training program. And by the way, a test training program doesn't mean only training testers in testing, but typically also in requirements, in things like soft skills, in getting domain knowledge. That's all part of a training plan. Okay. We have a defined, detailed life cycle now, level 3. That is as important. It is integrated with the development life cycle. Yeah. Non-functional testing is now very important, because at level 2, if you're trying to at least get sure it makes it functional. If it doesn't do the job it's supposed to do, who cares if it's fast or not fast?